So Assassin's Creed Shadows is getting a bunch of brand new articles around the game, focusing on stealth, the combat, the overall gameplay, the environment, and of course the story. All of these coming within the next few weeks, with of course some brand new gameplay. Now the first one that has been released is the stealth. Now stealth is a major part of the Assassin's Creed series, and if you're like me, then you play these games as stealthily as possible. Maybe in the recent RPG games that hasn't been quite possible, but with Mirage and now with AC Shadows, we are going back to that stealthy assassin element, of course with Naoe, our brand new Japanese female assassin. So let's just jump straight into the info, as well as showcasing some brand new gameplay. So the article starts off by stating that the stealth mechanics in Assassin's Creed Shadows brings a bold reimagining of this series' core gameplay. Stealth gameplay in Shadows has been ambitiously overhauled in a few key areas, says Simon, one of the lead developers. Unlike previous entries, players will no longer rely on an eagle companion, thank God, to scout and map locations. Instead, stealth is built around the player's ability to observe, adapt, and act in the moment. He goes on to say that Shadows players will fully embrace their character's situational awareness, relying on personal skill and tactical decisions to navigate the game's world and engage enemies. This shift creates a fresh, immersive experience that puts control squarely in the player's hands. Now the first key mechanics we have are Observe and of course the classic Eagle Vision. Now Observe is a new mechanic available to both Naoe and Yasuo, designed to streamline the collection of important information. With just a quick activation, Observe can tag and monitor enemies, highlight loot, collectibles, and objectives, and it will provide a clear view of potential paths through challenging environments. When standing at a sync point, Observe becomes even more powerful, offering detailed insights into nearby location. Observe is a foundational tool in the Assassin's Creed Shadows experience, Simon explained. When you feel struck or uncertain, this mechanic encourages you to pause, take a moment to assess your surroundings, and make a calculated decision. It's an invitation to think tactically. Now, the way I look at this is that Observe is essentially you're standing on top of the viewpoint and you can look around your area and find different points of interest, different locations, and honestly, it is better than a viewpoint because you can do this anywhere. Let's say you go to a new city or a new village and you have absolutely no idea where anything is. Well, with Observe, you can then just climb a building, press the Observe button, and look around and get an understanding of your environment and of course if there are any nearby enemy. Now, Eagle Vision is back in the game and Naoe retains access to this iconic Eagle Vision. Now, this highlights enemies hidden behind walls or obstacles and identifies relevant sounds they produce. Now, unlike Observe, Eagle Vision is a dedicated stealth tool, encouraging players to slow down and carefully plan their approach. Together, these two mechanics work independently yet complement one another, revealing distinct types of information. When used in tandem, they create a comprehensive awareness of the environment, including the ability to observe and tag enemies through walls. This feature is invaluable for planning routes and avoiding potentially lethal ambushes. And honestly, I'm glad the classic Eagle Vision is back. Now, it is quite concerning that they say only Naoe retains access to the Eagle Vision. Does this mean Yasuo won't be able to use it? Personally, I think that's a good decision. Having these two characters have unique skill sets and abilities really does affect the way you play a game. As we know, we will be able to choose between either two assassins during certain missions. So let's say for instance the mission we saw with the gameplay walkthrough. In that, we chose to play as Naoe during the stealth castle element. With her abilities, we were able to climb atop the rooftops, sneakily stealth into the building and assassinate our target. Whereas with Yasuo, he wouldn't have been able to do that. Perhaps he would have just had to go to the front door, take down all the guards, and then assassinate him in the most brutal way. These two characters have very defining skill sets and abilities, and honestly, I cannot wait to get my hands on them. Now, the next innovation with Assassin's Creed Shadows is dynamic shadow hiding. For the first time in this series, Shadows plays a vital role in stealth. Now, during nighttime, any area cloaked in darkness becomes a viable hiding spot. Players can slip into these shadows to avoid detection or create additional cover by destroying light sources like lanterns using a shuriken. This mechanic introduces a strategic layer to both interior and exterior environment, as players must study their surroundings to identify or create hiding spots. So Garmin highlights the impact of this feature. Naue is a capable shinobi in broad daylight, but the cover of darkness gives her a distinct advantage, especially on higher difficulty settings where enemies are less forgiving. Brilliant. We all know that Ubisoft, yes, have had some problems with graphical errors and downgrading the graphics in some previous games, but with their most recent ones, especially within the Assassin's Creed series, we cannot deny that the devs create these beautiful open worlds, and it's nice to see them actually utilize it with our players and what we can actually do in the world. We saw this again within the 15-minute gameplay walkthrough segment with Naue. She was able to take down these lanterns to not only distract the guards, but also give her some pretty cool hiding spots with some unique assassinations. Naue's character is truly shaping up to be that perfect assassin archetype. Then we move on to crouching and staying low. Now, moving carefully is essential in heavily guarded areas. Sprinting produces sound that can alert nearby guards, and standing upright increases visibility. By crouching, players can reduce both noise and visibility, especially indoors. Some locations, like areas with traditional Japanese nightingale floors, present unique challenges. These specially designed floors emit creaks when stepped on, making it critical to move slowly and deliberately while crouched to avoid detection. And in a series first, Naue and Yasuo can go prone, offering an even greater level of stealth. Now, this position significantly reduces visibility, whether on rooftops, underwater, or while crawling under building. Prone mode also introduces unique movement mechanics, such as rolling in any directions to quickly evade approaching guards. This versatile feature enhances both exploration and combat. Small crawl spaces, which in previous games often became overlooked, can become valuable infiltration points, allowing players to bypass heavily guarded areas. And again, these elements are just stuff that makes you feel like an assassin. I mean, how many times have we played the previous games? I mean, I've just recently played through the entire extra collection, and you know that one mission in Assassin's Creed 2 where you have to follow them throughout the city, but you're just stood there and it's plain to see that they know where you are. Imagine how much cooler it would be if Yasuo could have got into a prone position and just spied on them, rolling out the way from attacks. This is something that I'm so glad they brought into the game. Now we're going to talk about something that I know a lot of us are excited about, and that is the tools and techniques, the classic assassin and shinobi tools. The article states that Shadows provides players with a versatile toolkit to execute stealth strategies effectively. You can get smoke bombs that disorientate enemies, create cover for escapes, or enable silent assassinations, the shinobi bells, which lure guards away from their post or distracts them for a well-timed sneak attack, the kunai, which are these deadly throwing knives capable of precision one-shot kills, and of course the shuriken. You can stun enemies or create distractions by targeting environmental elements like light. This is good news. We are getting actual assassin and shinobi tools. I can't think back to the previous AC titles, especially the RPG ones, where we even got any of this. I'm just glad they're adding it back into Shadows. Now, I personally know I'm gonna main Naue throughout the entire game, if possible, just because I want to play as an assassin. The smoke bombs and shurikens will definitely come in handy when trying to clear out these new AI that will come and basically wreck us at the higher levels. The article also states that double assassinations are returning to the franchise. Now, you can equip the Tanto and you can unlock a specific skill. Players will be able to eliminate 2 targets simultaneously, which is great. I don't understand why they got rid of this years ago with the RPG elements. Like, yeah, you could do a double assassination, but it is more in line of, right, assassinate this guy and then throw a massive fucking axe at his head. That is essentially the assassination takedown. Not very assassinly, if you ask me. And then Shadows is adding these manual grabs. So instead of automated assassinations from the bushes or ledges, players must manually grab their target, pull them into cover, and then execute or incapacitate them. This is a deliberate interaction that heightens the tension and satisfaction of successful eliminations. Now, while I believe this is a good addition, given the players more access to more scenarios and having a fuller control of the character, what if someone just wants to assassinate someone and then move on? Will that be possible, or will we have to grab them every single time? If that's the case, I don't know how well this will work out, but knowing me, I'm wrong about some things. I mean, okay, mainly most things. There will probably be an option to turn this off. Now the article moves on to the new enemy type. Now apparently they are more dynamic than ever before and actually react intelligently to your actions. So throughout the game you will meet servants, and these are non-lethal enemies that will raise alarms upon spotting you. You will be able to find out their patrol routes, but they demand careful monitoring. And then we have the samurai. These highly skilled foes who evade smoke bombs and search methodically, even slicing through bushes to expose hiding spots. They do resist simple tricks, forcing players to think creatively to defeat them or avoid them. This is great. As we saw in the gameplay trailer, Yasuo actually goes up against one of these, and it's a pretty intense fight with a very satisfying ending. We know how that would play out with Yasuo, but how would this play out with Naoe? Well, we would have to dodge, roll, use our shurikens, or just essentially try and assassinate them before they even know we're there. And then of course, if you are spotted and able to escape, these enemies will remain alert, searching in pairs with increased suspicion. This then makes the re-engaging a lot riskier, as they respond more quickly to sounds or movement. Luring these wary guards into traps becomes a challenge, adding a new layer of difficulty for stealth enthusiasts. And some enemies can even resist assassination attempts based on their level and archetype. Visual prompts will guide the player, such as white, which is instant kill, yellow, which is partial damage, or red, which is complete resistance. Simon, the dev, advises players to invest in hidden blade upgrades and assassination perks, ensuring they can adapt to increasingly resilient opponent. Context does matter, and a failed frontal attack might succeed when performed from an aerial position. It does go on to state that this will be an option that you can turn off or on in the settings, meaning you can have an instant assassination every single time you do this. This is great. This is something they actually introduced in Mirage, and I for one turned it off in Mirage just because there wasn't really that much more to upgrade with the hidden blade or the abilities. But it seems to be that in Shadows there will be a ton of hidden blade upgrades and perks that you can equip and unlock to your player so that you can assassinate these guys as you level up and continue through the game. I will be trying to see how it is first, just how the devs intended, and then if I get bored and just want to start assassinating a lot of people, I'ma just turn it off and instant assassinate everyone, because that's where the fun's at. We then move on to talk about Yasuo's stealth style, and they say that he is optimized for direct combat. He does, however, retain a stealthy edge when equipped with his bow. The ranged weapon allows him to dispatch enemies silently from afar, blending stealth with his aggressive fighting style. When careful, Yasuo can also perform devastating melee assassinations, giving players some kind of flexibility in their approach. This is great, giving the players more options with their characters, but I feel like Yasuo will be more of a brute, similar to how Ava was, rather than how Naoe will be. And I get it, some players may want to play through the entirety of Assassin's Creed Shadows as a samurai Ronin player, running through the fields, taking people down, having these awesome battles and massive fights, all to win, and just have a bunch of bodies lay around them. But if you're like me, you'll be playing as Naoe, and you will have all of these bodies hidden in bushes, ready to assassinate the main target. The article ends by saying that beyond the mechanics mentioned here, Shadow offers a wealth of stealth opportunities waiting to be discovered. Dynamic elements like collapsing stalactites in the winter environments, or quick assassinations through traditional shoji doors add variety and depth to the gameplay. Our goal, says Simon, was to create a stealth experience that feels fresh, dynamic, and deeply rewarding. There's always something new to learn and master. Whether you prefer to manipulate shadows, use tools creatively, or outsmart the enemies, Assassin's Creed Shadows invites players to redefine what stealth can be. Now, final thoughts on this article. I'm excited for the stealth, okay, because I want to play an Assassin's Creed game as an assassin. So my main take from this is Naoe will be the person you want to play with if you focus on stealth and the actual assassin gameplay element. The fact that the world also has dynamic elements to take down enemies, such as shooting icicles off of the walls in the winter periods, will really engross the player and make them feel part of the world, not just some guy viewing it from the outside. But guys and girls, Ubisoft will be releasing a ton of new articles and gameplay in the coming weeks, focusing on the combat, the story, and of course the open world that is Assassin's Creed Shadows Japan. Ladies and gentlemen, in the comment section down below, let me know what you think about the stealth. I do also want to say everything read in this is from the official article provided by Ubisoft UK. Thanks to them for letting me actually have access to it early. But yeah, in the comment section down below, let me know what you think about Assassin's Creed Shadows stealth elements. Are you excited for it? Who are you be playing as? Also, what else can they add to Shadows to make it truly feel like an Assassin's Creed title, and what can they improve on with the stealth? If you guys have enjoyed this video, a like would be greatly appreciated. Make sure to subscribe for some more Assassin's Creed Shadows content, and I hope you all have an amazing day. I'll see you in the next video.